I am 94 years old. I have buried my wife. I have buried my brothers. I have buried every man I once called a friend. What surprised me wasn't death. It was how quietly it arrived. I am standing at the very edge of my life now. I can see the bottom clearly. It isn't frightening. It's honest. And before I take that last step, I need to turn around and speak to you. You who still believe the music will keep playing. You who think life is something that happens later. After things slow down, after you finally have time. That was the lie I lived by. I treated my days like loose change. Easy to spend. Easy to waste. Only now do I see the truth. Time doesn't warn you when it's almost gone. It just runs out. And most people don't realize it until there's nothing left to save. My name is Arthur. I am 94 years old. That means I've seen more than 34,000 mornings. Most of them ordinary. Many of them wasted without me realizing it. I've lived long enough to watch wars begin with confidence and end in silence. Long enough to see technologies promise us more time and quietly take it away. My authority doesn't come from success, money, or anything with my name on it. It comes from the quiet now. From sitting alone in this chair at night when there is nothing left to distract me from the truth. That's when the regrets in life surface, not the loud ones. The small moments I ignored because I thought I had time. When everything else fades, those are the moments that remain. For most of my life, I did what I was supposed to do. I played the role well. I wore the suits, carried the briefcase, showed up early, left late. People called me successful. I believed being a good man meant being a provider. And in my mind, providing meant always being busy. Always being tired, always being somewhere else. I told myself I was building a future, that this season of absence would pay off later. I lived for the next. Next promotion, next house, next vacation. Happiness was always one milestone away. I didn't see it then, but while I was chasing the American dream, I was slowly disappearing from my own life. Thomas died on a Tuesday morning. On his way back to the office, 4 days earlier, I was sitting across from him in a dim bar in Chicago, celebrating a deal. Thomas was my best friend. He was everything I was trying to become. Smarter, faster, always one step ahead. While I was chasing success, Thomas was already winning. He leaned back in his chair, swirling a glass of expensive scotch, and smiled. 3 more years, Arthur, he said. That's the plan. I grind for 3 more years, hit the number, and then I start living. Greece, painting. Long mornings. A real life. He had a roadmap for happiness. I believed in it too. 4 days later, Thomas walked out of his office, grabbed his chest, and collapsed on the sidewalk. Massive heart attack. He was 45. He never made it to Greece. Never touched a paintbrush. Never reached the part where life was supposed to begin. I stood in front of Thomas's casket at the funeral, looking at his face, still, pale, finished, and the shock wasn't that he was dead. We all die. The shock was realizing how he died. Thomas didn't die chasing the wrong things. He died waiting to live. He treated his life like a waiting room, a place you sit in quietly until something better is finally called. He traded his now for a later that was never promised. Standing there, I felt a cold settle into my chest. Not for him, for me, because I saw it clearly for the first time. The most devastating of all regrets in life isn't dying too soon. It's dying with your real life still scheduled for next week. A week after the funeral, I went to Thomas's office. His widow asked me to help clear out his desk. His calendar was still full. Meetings scheduled 12 months into the future. Deadlines marked urgent. Emails waiting for replies that would never come. For a moment it all looked important. Then something uncomfortable happened. The world kept going. The sun rose the next morning. The phones rang. The deals moved forward. His company replaced him in 10 days. His clients stopped asking about him within a month. Nothing paused for his ambition. Standing there, I understood something society never tells you. All those promises we believe in. I'll slow down after the promotion. I'll take the trip when the kids are older. I'll fix that relationship when there's more time. They're not plans, they're delays. And the truth is simple, even if it's hard to accept, there is no later waiting for you. There is only now. And once you trade it away, the world will not give it back. I look at your generation and I see an obsession with accumulation. You buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't even like. I live in a small room now. I have a bed. I have a chair. I have a faded photograph of my wife Eleanor taken in 1958. I used to have the big estate in the suburbs. I used to have the luxury cars and a garage full of toys. And I am telling you with the absolute clarity of the endgame, it is all garbage. I have been to more funerals than I can count. I have never not once seen a U-Haul trailer following a hearse. When you die, your children will hire a stranger to come into your house and throw 90% of your precious stuff into a dumpster. The other 10% will be sold at a yard sale for quarters. That is the sum total of your materialism, future trash. Why are you working 70 hours a week, missing your daughter's childhood, just to pay for a car that sits in traffic? Why do you miss the quiet Sunday mornings just to buy a bigger television? It is madness. And you won't realize it's madness until you're sitting where I am. And by then, it's too late to return the merchandise. I remember 1985. I was named Businessman of the Year in my city. Black tie gala, bright lights, a room full of people who knew my title, not my life. I walked onto that stage, felt the applause wash over me, and for a moment, I felt untouchable. I went home holding a heavy glass trophy. The house was dark. Eleanor was asleep. The children were asleep. I sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at that trophy, while the applause faded somewhere far away. That night taught me something I didn't want to admit. The people in that room didn't love me. They loved what I could do for them. And the people upstairs, the ones who did love me, I had neglected for months to earn that moment. I missed my son's games. I missed my anniversary dinner. I told myself I had to work late. For what? That trophy is in a box somewhere now. I don't know where. But the memory of the sadness in Eleanor's eyes when I told her I had to work late again, that memory is right here, that never left. For a long time I thought my career would be my legacy. Now I know it was just a transaction. Hours of my life exchanged for progress, profit, and someone else's vision. If I had disappeared suddenly back then, my position would have been posted before my name appeared in print. Careers don't mourn you. They move on. They don't sit beside you when the lights go out. They don't remember who you were. So when the money loses its shine and the title stops speaking and the things you worked so hard to own quietly fade away, what's left? Only what you gave. The time you gave to someone else. The love you offered without keeping score. The small moments of connection you chose not to postpone. I don't replay meetings in my mind anymore. I replay quiet Sunday mornings. Eleanor laughing at nothing important. The smell of rain on our first porch. That was real wealth. Everything else was just noise. I'm 94 now. My world is small. There's nothing left for me to chase. That's why I can see it so clearly now. Most people don't realize they've been postponing their lives until there's nothing left to postpone. They waste them waiting to feel free, waiting to feel present, waiting to finally live. You still have time, not endless time, but enough. Enough to notice the life that's already happening. Enough to stop trading moments for promises. Enough to choose presence over preparation. One day you'll be sitting somewhere quiet too, looking back, and the only question that will matter then is simple. Did you ever stop waiting, or did you spend your whole life getting ready to live? That answer won't belong to the world. It will belong to you. If this story stayed with you longer than you expected, it's probably because some part of it felt familiar. This channel exists for moments like that. Quiet moments, honest reflections, stories from people who reached the end of the road and finally understood what really mattered. If you don't want to learn these lessons too late, you're welcome to stay. Subscribe and spend a little more time here with us. There are still a few things worth saying before the silence gets too loud.